there everyone, welcome to what is a project I am hopefully going to be involved in. This is Crisis on Earth 1, an Arrowverse Fangame, Update 3. I'm not going to do any gameplay or anything in the background. Instead I'm going to show you bits of the video and I'll talk about what I'm assuming I'm allowed to mention and say. And then I will... quite quickly. So, let's get into it. I'll show you some of the stuff that Tecosaurus has said. He is the director slash founder of this whole game, and I will address that in a minute. So I'll just show you some of the stuff he's mentioned.
Hey guys, Teco here and welcome to Update 3. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for it and I shall deliver. There's a lot of new stuff I can't wait to show you. A few have mentioned that the previous updates have been focused on Flash a lot, and I must admit Flash has been the most fun to develop for, and there is a lot of Flash stuff here, but there are a ton more for every other show. So let's get right into it.
Right, so before Teco goes into it, I will briefly explain the whole premise of the game. It's an Arrowverse fan game called Crisis on Earth 1. As you can see from the title Teco put in his video, uploaded at least a few hours ago. I'm not sure in terms of his time zone and everything. He has basically done this for a while. This has been... well, how do I say it? It's been in development a while. I've managed to sort of procure knowledge I'm not going to say, because I'll probably, well, I'm going to be in trouble if I do, basically. What I'm going to go over is some of the stuff from the update Teco has posted here, plus a few other things I think he will have made public. Teco, if you see this and I'm wrong, please don't kill me. So let's start with mentioning all this early access stuff. A lot of the people you see in this list have managed to achieve early access, specifically Waterfall Films, Crimson Wrens, Ultra Sergeant, J. Raw, William Welsh, aka Reverse, Galva, and I think that is it from the modelling sources. Okay, I've actually just spoken to him. We're gonna get him in. Let's do a voice call. Oh Christ, he needs to accept a friend request. So you guys may get some exclusive stuff. Hang on a minute. Okay, he's telling me to go to his voice chat. I will just undeafen myself. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Tecosaurus.
Hello.
Nice video, by the way. My voice connection's not looking the best, so
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, that's good. It's just like whether people will hear me. Close a couple of tabs from my browsers. There we go. You've just released Update 3. I was just showing them some stuff, actually, and then you coincidentally reply to the messages that I've sent you.
Yeah, boy.
So, very good timing. I was literally about to start mentioning some of the characters you've just put in, so if you want to, feel free.
Yeah. No, you can say them. I'll let you announce it.
Okay, so the characters that are new and added are... I'm not going to put text up on screens because I can't edit for shit, unless, Teco, you fancy a bit of editing work.
Nah. I've gone insane from the amount of editing I've done all day.
There's the answer then. I'm not going to put them in text, so take notes. The characters that are new are Prometheus, Sarah Lance as the White Canary, Heatwave, and Captain Cold. I'm assuming you didn't show him, but I'm assuming.
Captain Cod was featured in the first update video.
Yeah, because with that you were using like this sort of note form of text, so I didn't exactly watch this one. That one. It was easier to hear the update like with your voice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Other characters are Prometheus, Damien Dark. Supergirl was in it from the first update. She's now been shown off. Very, very good as well. Martian Manhunter. You've got many new characters.
Yeah.
There are others. I'm not sure if you're going to let me say anything about them. Whether you choose to, I don't know.
I'm not hiding any characters that I haven't announced yet.
Okay, you... Just to try and give some good clickbait to the video, because I need views. Thank you for helping with that, by the way. Are we able to talk about some of the new stuff?
Yeah.
And stuff you've told me, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell these guys.
No.
I figure I should explain a bit of why I got, like, the shout out in your description. Can I explain that a bit?
Yeah.
So Teco is... I think it's safe to say that you're doing an original villain for this.
Yeah.
And you were having trouble, like, coming up with, like, some of the direction you wanted to take him in, so... Along with doing
Wasn't having trouble per se. It was just really early concepts.
Yeah, so...
Needed some inspiration. Early inspiration.
And basically what I was able to do with that, like after auditioning for Green Arrow, I said, okay, I'll send you some voice work on this character, knowing absolutely nothing about him. So, well, him, I suppose, I've got to give them a small teaser, Teco, so don't be mad. Him, you could also say it, couldn't you?
It. Yes.
Yeah, we've got to give him something, because if Comic Book versus the World watches this and he's after something, he's got to speculate to some degree. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So there's his little speculation point. Villain, well, him/it really. You needed some help on like
Him
the finer.
/it/her. Yes.
Okay, there's some stuff I didn't know.
One of those may not be true.
The her one isn't true. So, yeah, you needed some help figuring out some of the finer detail stuff for that, so I said, okay, I'll send you some voice work. You've now gone ahead with your writers and completely changed everything.
Yeah.
So I will be doing more voice work for you for that, but that's how I got the shout out in your description.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
You helped me with something personal.
Yes, I did indeed do that, but obviously...
That's what earned you the shout out.
I'm gonna put my phone on silent because unlikely as it is, people can hear that. So yeah, what else are you willing to like tell people so they've got some stuff to speculate on story-wise?
Ooh, a lot of old characters will be in it, and we'll be trying to keep it as close as canon as possible.
Yeah, are we able to say any of those characters? You've told me a few, I'm just wondering are we able to mention
all
them?
of them that have been featured in the videos, we'll try to incorporate them into the story somehow.
So you're basically... Some of the ones I know I can rattle off because I've seen them are Roy Harper / Arsenal. You're going to see Savitar come back.
Maybe.
Because, well, you've...
Not all characters will be in
Hopefully...
it, but a lot of them will.
Yeah. Are there any particular characters you want to include into that story that you've mentioned?
Ooh, I really want to put Accelerated Man in it somehow, but we haven't figured out a point on how to introduce him.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously as well. I know we're not really talking about the story much, but it's like one of the main things I want to give people some time to speculate on. Is you and I sort of discussed. Well, you've told me like a brief synopsis. I'm not allowed to reveal unless you let me.
Yeah, keep it under wraps.
Keep it under wraps. Yeah, you've told me a sort of brief synopsis from like really early stages, and then you have gone ahead and said, I'm just gonna switch over my capture point actually to the Discord because literally it is just there showing the links. You know what? No, I'll just switch it to like your end title card and stuff. There we go. I can put that full screen. So they're seeing the title card now instead of all the links in your description. Because I'm bad at video preparation. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, all good now.
Yeah, all good. And yeah, basically what's happened is that from the early synopsis, you've told me I've tried figuring out ways to try and help you bring in characters. Some more goofy than others, because my friend is just like Music Meister should be in this, and it's just, and she thinks I would be good auditioning for him as well. Music Meister's not likely, you've said, unless it's as a sort of mini game.
Yeah, it'll have to be a mini game.
Yeah, although I did give you ways in like he could appear in the story, but there we go. It wouldn't really call for it except for like a bit of comic relief point in a serious story, I guess.
Yeah.
But Accelerated Man. Who else? Like, are you able to say anything about the story at all?
Not really. We haven't covered too much, and if I tell anything, it's just going to give it all away.
So there's nothing you can disclose that might give people clues to speculate on?
That's right. Too early to say anything.
Too early. I see. The villain, I know we can't talk about him, but like, how's everything going on in terms of him? Like, obviously I've not submitted any voice work for a long time.
We've made some major changes to the villain.
Yeah.
Since I told you.
Yep.
And it's really exciting for that.
Because you've been dead for a few weeks, because I've been messaging you like, oh, do you want stuff?
Yeah.
And you've been dead for a few weeks, probably prepping the video and the finer details for what was going to be in that. Link to that will be in the description. So what else can you tell us about the game? Like, what other features are there going to be that you haven't announced yet, or small things that you're just going to save for people to find out?
Sorry, one sec.
Yeah, as you guys can probably tell, there's like a lot of shouting going on, so I think he's closing his door or something. Okay, you all good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Alright, yeah, what's the question?
Yeah, are there any like finer details of the game that you don't plan to announce in updates but let people find out for themselves, sort of thing?
Yes, there are a few things. Yes.
Are you able to share any of those now? Couple of those?
That would defeat the purpose of the original question.
It probably would, but let's face it, I've got to give these guys something, haven't I?
Well, yeah, you do.
Because all I've given them so far is a subtle hint of what the villain could be, and
more than I've given.
And that you've made major changes. Because like I know about the villain, which is intriguing. Like you won't mention his intentions or anything, so I won't ask that. But like, can you tell us any of his characteristics?
No. We haven't really. It's hard to say. We kinda have, but we kinda haven't. Nothing's set in stone.
Okay, so obviously I'll be giving you more voice work soon as you've actually figured some stuff out for that. Which is funny as well, because, like, I've said to you, and you haven't exactly denied this, because I said at the beginning, I am hoping to be involved in this project. That, I feel like I've said to you before, and you've not, like, denied the possibility that I'm about 99% sure I could end up with this character with all the voice work I'm sending you.
You could.
Another thing that's not so secret between you and me is that I've been trying to pressure you for a sequel, which I'm willing to take steps to write.
Oh, nah, a sequel's a long shot. I don't think I ever plan on making a sequel.
What if there's particularly high demand for it?
Nah, no sequel.
No sequel.
No sequel.
What about, like, a sort of expansion thing? Is it going to include, like, DLC?
Yeah, I might release the source code to my developers, and they can continue the game, make updates to it and expansions.
So there's nothing for, like, story-driven DLC or sequel, just all in the works yet?
Depend on where the developers take it when I move on to other stuff.
So that gives the implication that you're planning to do a few more fan games of things, like... I mean, obviously, the way I described what I have in mind for it is a lot smaller scale than what you're doing now, with a lot less characters.
No, I'll probably move away from games. Like, this is just a hobby.
A hobby that is now, like, turned into something you never expected it to.
Because,
exactly. This was an intriguing fact. After Comic Books vs. the World made the first video talking about it, you told me you only had about, like, 30 subscribers, and now look at you, you've pretty much made it in terms of YouTube.
Yeah.
And, I haven't, but hopefully I'll get there. And,
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, and your shout-out will no doubt help with that as well.
Yeah.
But no, like... Obviously, I'm still going to pressure you for the sequel or something. Because, like...
trying.
Yeah, I will be trying to do that. But, like, obviously, the way I've described it is... And it would be keen to see what, like, everyone else thinks, thinks as well. And I might have to tweet you something if you've got Twitter about it and, like, maybe put a poll on your Twitter page.
Maybe.
Just to, like, whether they wanted a more, like, grounded sequel, because it's safe to say this one is, it's going a bit, it's very high in terms of, like, the bar, I suppose, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Whereas, like, I've obviously described the sequel as, planning to be more down-to-earth. It's, like, and, like, the way I figured it would most likely be is, like... basically the aftermath of what has happened and the crisis that has happened. Whether you've changed the stuff you've told me about that, I don't know.
I have changed it, I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Just tell us... Okay, I'm running out of questions here, so just tell us, like, some of the stuff you're most excited to work on now for the next update, which will be released in about a month.
NPCs.
You got NPCs? Okay. Because, like, I saw a comment on your video, someone timestamped at 2 minutes 58, wondering, is that a civilian or something?
Yes, it is. Very, very early test of a civilian that I accidentally leaked into the video.
Not planned then.
Not planned.
What else are you excited to work on?
Combat.
Yeah, because that's sort of been something which you've... which some characters are further along than others. I mean, like, people with the ranged weapons and stuff, such as Green Arrow, have a bit of combat to them already. Yep. I mean, you could argue NPCs were leaked long before this video from your mini... Well, with the images you sent Comic Books vs. the World, because you did a mini update on it.
Uh-huh.
And you had the gorillas in the background from Solivar.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What else can you tell us about the game? Like, are there any more plans that you are going to put in, or is it just doing the combat and sorting the story out now?
Yeah, I've pretty much finished with the characters. There's probably a couple more here and there I'll add, but from now on it'll probably be more mechanics than characters.
Yeah. You've mentioned the early access releases at Christmas. Well, around time for the crossover, so that gives you like a
Yeah,
couple of
it's for the
months.
crossover. Yep.
Couple of
Yeah,
months from
maybe
now.
two.
I doubt anything from the story will be in there, but is it possible we'll
Nah.
run into like maybe a character from the story who could play a part
Oh,
without
maybe.
knowing it?
Maybe.
Because like I know if I pressure you enough, you'll tell me privately in messages, but because hence how I got like all the earliest information and know nothing else yet. So in terms of like the full-on game releasing, at the moment, how long do you see that being?
Oh, I'm not sure. It depends on what I want in there.
Okay, so you're saying that there's some more stuff you plan to put in.
Yeah.
Okay, you able to tell us about any of that?
Haven't really thought about it too much.
So it's sort of just like things you want to put in there. In terms of Easter eggs, what will we find in the early access in terms of Easter eggs? Because I'll be making videos on the early access gameplay and like doing some critic reviews of it.
Well, I can't tell you what's going to be in early access as I haven't exactly thought it out, but there was a pretty big Easter egg in the Update 3 video that some people may or may not pick up on.
Can you tell us that? Because I don't think I saw it.
I'll tell you the timestamp for it.
Oh yeah? What's the timestamp?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
Ladies and gentlemen, we could just go and discover an Easter egg.
4 minutes 50.
4 minutes 50.
4 minutes 50. I'm surprised no one has picked up on it yet. I don't think.
I'm thinking it could be like the Earth X.
Aha, it is.
I saw that. I saw that, and I'm just like, okay, maybe it's an Earth he plans to touch on later. I'm imagining that's more of a reference to the comics.
No, it's in reference to Freedom Fighters, which is an upcoming animated show, much like Vixen.
Okay, I hadn't heard anything about that, so there's a fun fact for people. There we are. So I was wondering why there was an Earth known as X. You've mentioned some
It doesn't
stuff.
appear to be that well known.
Okay, so nice little Easter egg for those who know about it. Yeah, I saw that. I'm just like, maybe it's an Earth that's like in dev or something, and he's not done much for. So I'll leave that be. I'm not going to ask about it because even I need some surprises in this. Yeah, it's worth mentioning. Like, I've spoken with you a lot about the game. I've spoken with Kara a lot about the game. It's quite clear that you guys have worked close, especially you two, in terms of like some of the models and stuff as well. You and I have worked fairly closely with like me trying to help you iron out your villain a bit. I'll do some more voice work for you soon, by the way. And I mean, it's just a matter of like, are you trying to make the villain someone who is going to have a bit of a sympathetic side? I think that's a fair question to ask.
Yes.
Okay, I'm assuming you've not yet ironed out how then.
We sort of have. Sort of.
Okay, I'm becoming more and more intrigued by this, because, like, I'll have to ask you about it so I can try and incorporate a voice work scene for it, so you can just sort of see how that goes. So, tell me some stuff in messages after this, damn it.
Maybe. Well, I should probably flesh out the character a little more before I give you details. Nothing's final. Don't want to accidentally send another wrong audition like last time. Audition for a character and then just completely change it.
Yeah, because I think I sent you 3 sets of voice work. The longest was about 10 minutes. Again, this was when I knew absolutely nothing. You looked at the scenes, and I remember you telling me you put them through a voice modulator relevant to what this character is.
Yeah.
And, you put that through a voice modulator, you're just like, I really like this, and you sort of confessed to me that yourself, hence why I'm fairly certain there's the possibility I'll end up playing this character.
Yeah, I put a few other people through that same process, and they're all pretty good. It's gonna be a hard choice.
Okay, have you got, like, are you able to sort of give any names to that, as to who you're looking forward to hearing, the most?
I probably should. I probably shouldn't do that without their permission.
Okay, fair enough. That's perfectly fine. You've received probably thousands, hundreds of thousands of auditions.
Yeah, thousands.
I know you've sent Comic Books versus the World some to listen to. I haven't heard any of them, despite the stuff I've done for you. Have you managed to come close to casting any characters yet, and if so, who?
Yes, I have come close, but I shouldn't announce anything because they don't know it themselves yet.
Okay, fair enough. And the characters who you still need some more auditions for, who are they?
Everyone except Barry. Everyone's auditioning for Barry these days.
I wouldn't be able to pull off Barry, I don't think. So despite Barry's, aka the Flash, I think you already had Zoom and Constantine casted.
I got Zoom casted, but not Constantine.
Okay, because I swear in your Update 2 video you had Constantine casted, but maybe that's just me.
No, I just had someone in mind. Like someone had auditioned for Constantine, and had a pretty good audition. I might get them, but I'm not casting anyone until I've heard absolutely everything.
Everything that comes through.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably also what you've been doing for the past week, trying to catch up on some of those. Who's the character who you've who you've enjoyed listening to auditions for the most?
Heatwave and Deathstroke.
Heatwave and Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've got some ideas in mind for them.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Is there anything else you can sort of tell us about the game? We'll wrap this up soon. Because this whole thing was last minute.
I can't really. I don't have anything more to say about the game. I've pretty much caught up with all the work. I've been falling behind on it.
Yeah, because you've obviously got your personal life as well, and this must distract from it so hard. I know it did at one point.
I know it does. It does, yeah.
So, I mean, people will know how if they watch your videos. I mean, you've shouted my channel out, so anyone who watches this may already know how. But how can people try to obtain early access?
Contribute. In my descriptions, there are ways people can help.
Yeah, specifically, while giving some small nods to how you could make things work with parts of the story. Christ knows where. I've obviously done voice acting stuff for you. Even if it's just test stuff, it's still something which I've sent you, and you're obviously you found that very helpful in your early stages. I know that. I'm assuming it only helped with the minor stuff for him. I don't think any of it stands now.
Correct.
But it was just to sort of help you with the early characteristics.
Yeah.
Ooh. Trying to think, are there any other questions I can ask you? There you are, just sort of joining in with your...
everything.
You're thinking that's everything, so nothing else can really be shared. Okay. Final question, really. Well, one of the final questions before I let you ask me someone like, as like someone will be playing it, I guess, because that'll be a nice little twist. How excited are you for it to be released to people, even in early access? I know that'll be something you're excited for.
It's really nerve-wracking for me.
Is that because like you'll
you'll
finally have like the first stages of like criticism, won't you?
Yeah.
I've mentioned I'll be doing a review video for it, so as soon as that releases and I figure out how to get it downloaded, I will be doing a critic video on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be brutal, but I am obviously going to be fair when I say hey things in it. I'll do a first impressions video as well for it, so first time I play it, that'll be recorded. But now I'll let you ask me some questions about it, like, regardless, go ahead.
I don't know what to ask.
Just ask anything, mate, in terms of, like, the game as someone who'll be playing it. Go ahead.
What are you looking for in the game?
What am I looking for? Good story, but I know that's already coming. I'm really looking forward to hearing like how you do Savitar and characters like that, because Savitar, I think, is the best Flash villain so far.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed him. I wasn't keen on the whole Time Remnant thing at first, but I do think they made it work. So
All right.
I'm also excited. Here's another question for you, actually. Characters like Prometheus, Damien Dark, and those who were announced today.
Yeah.
Are they going to be up for auditions?
Yep.
Okay. I'm also looking forward to hearing what you do with Prometheus. Like, is he interested in serving your main villain's interests, or will he only be after Oliver again, trying to hurt him?
Yeah, these are things that we'll have to figure out in the writer's room.
Yeah, feel free to bring me in as like some sort of character analysis or analyst or something.
Yep.
Just drop some random ideas out of nowhere. I'm excited for a lot, really.
That's good.
Awkward silence. And there's another one. Pardon?
Was I supposed to answer something?
I was thinking you were going to ask something else.
I got nothing more. I don't know what to ask.
Obviously I'll link the Discord in the description.
Yeah.
And as well, I'll link your channel in the description, although people have seen that, because, like, that's where the video sort of opened off on. I do feel like I should ask, what stage of, like, writing are you in? Like, are you doing a rewrite of everything, or have you guys got some stuff cemented, or what?
We're pretty much just making an outline. Just a brief outline, then we'll go from there.
Okay, so, like, how long have you guys worked on the outline for? Like, synopsis, treatment, whatever?
I'd say about a month, maybe.
So, hopefully soon you'll be able to start getting things actually going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a bit slow lately because everyone's busy doing their own thing, but
yeah.
I'm sure we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. It's worth asking, like, obviously there's the main villain. Are there going to be other original characters along with villains and that from...
Yes.
There are going to be other original characters. I'm assuming they're like minions which he's brought from somewhere.
Yeah.
What villains do you think from like the TV shows we're going to see align themselves with the villain?
I'm really not too sure about that.
If you had to say like early, he just taking a guess, who do you think would do it?
Grodd, probably.
Grodd?
Yeah,
Um,
Grodd.
I'm thinking that Ra's al Ghul possibly, if he were to make an
Yeah,
appearance.
possibly.
Damien Dark might, not likely though, because his interest was just blow everything up and be like, fuck
Yeah.
it. Um, do you think there may be like not villains so much, but anti-heroes from the shows who join up with him?
Maybe.
Okay. This is a question worth asking. Like, how much is Argus from Arrow and all that going to play a part into all this? Because like, I know some of the small details from like the earliest plot points, and it's just like, no fucking way are they letting this go unnoticed.
I'd like to include Argus in some way, but I honestly don't think they'll have that much of a big role.
So they're not going to go around trying to get in Oliver Queen's way or anything.
Maybe they might. They might not. I'm not too sure.
I mean, it sort of depends who you have running them in it, really, as to whether it's Lila Michaels or Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
And obviously, with that comes the question: are we seeing the Suicide Squad included?
I'd really like to. I'd really like to.
Yeah, would it be your own version, or would you be going off like the version we've seen on Arrow and stuff?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'll probably go from Arrow's version.
Probably go from Arrow's version, but toss in a couple of members you think should be on it?
Maybe, yeah.
So, if you were to just straight out of the blue now, and you put the Suicide Squad in, and you decide I want to put a couple of new people into this lineup from Arrow, who would you put in there?
Well, I know from the 22nd episode of Flash, we saw that Grodd is now part of the Suicide Squad.
No, it wasn't.
So
yeah, 22nd episode.
Yeah.
Grodd's apparently part of it.
Yeah, 22nd episode.
So you're hoping you could, in a way, include him?
Yep.
Despite the fact you've said he possibly is going to end up aligning himself with the villain. Or would that be later?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. One or the other.
It'll probably be with one first and then go over to the other, because whichever serves his interests.
Yeah.
I think if I were to say there'd be anyone going on it, I'm tempted to say Deathstroke, but with the story arc he's going to have, and obviously the 6th season of Arrow, that's not likely.
Well, the game is going to be set before Season 6 of Arrow, before Season 4 of Flash, and before Season 3 of Supergirl and Legends. So, maybe.
Okay, I'm assuming we're set after the current seasons that have just finished then.
Maybe. We haven't discussed when it takes place yet.
Because I know you said that it's going to bring back characters such as Savitar, which does give the impression that it's set after.
Maybe.
But then again, that's like some of the earliest stuff you've told me, so chances are that's all irrelevant now.
The ways we introduce these characters back, it is kind of a really key plot device that I probably shouldn't reveal yet.
Yeah, hence why I'm trying to sort of allude to the fact that it's most likely irrelevant from what you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give a couple more questions. This one will be a bit simple. So I'll get it out of the way. When do you plan to sort of like announce a synopsis of the story?
Probably when we've set in stone our story. Like, we got a basic outline of one on what we're gonna what's gonna happen, but we don't know what, like, details wise, what's gonna happen.
Okay. So are you hoping you can do that sort of around early access release point?
Yeah.
Okay. Final question, I guess, is where do you guys go from here, characters-wise? Do you plan to introduce any new ones, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we'll probably introduce a few more. One sec. Alright, people are asking why we're in dev chat, even though you're not a dev. So,
Yeah,
check our chat now.
yeah, back into your personal channel. Yeah, back to the question, though. Like, well, going off on that, who do you want to introduce?
Ooh. I'm not too sure about that. I've pretty much put in everyone I've wanted to put in it.
So there's no other characters you could think of who you're just like, they might be a good addition for story purposes, or just for the sake of a few Easter eggs, or nothing?
Pretty much.
Okay. In free roam, well, as speedsters, actually, I don't know if you've ironed this out or not, or whether you're going to do it. Are speedsters who are fast enough going to be able to open breaches to travel to other Earths?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because it looked something like that from your, like, Update 3 teaser. That's sort of what Flash had done, but I'm just like, has he done that just as a way to show off the teasers and stuff?
Actually, it was Vibe who opened it, but I forgot to put in the animation where he opens it. I just sort of cut right to when the bridge was already open.
Standard stuff.
Yep.
So speedsters / vibe / gypsy, if she gets included, can just open breaches whenever they want during the free roam, or is that anywhere,
Yeah.
or are there certain points you have to go to open them?
I'm hoping I can put it in anywhere. Like, it shouldn't be that hard.
But there is the possibility, if that doesn't work, that you need to go to certain places in the city to open them.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, though. Hopefully players will feel the freedom of exploring the multiverse whenever they please themselves.
Do you plan on putting in your own takes of what the other Earths could look like, a few other Earths, or...?
Nah, I don't want to risk misrepresentation because, as I said, I want to keep this as close as canon as possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing this, very last minute. I'll link your channel in the description.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions for Teco, there is a question and answer section on his Discord, which will also be linked. I know he will appreciate any and all help that can be given. He and I are going to do plenty of talking behind the scenes. I'll hopefully do some more videos sort of saying what has been included and what hasn't. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, Teco, do you plan to give the guys anything to go off and speculate with, just as a last word?
No.
So no speculation.
No, I can't think of one on the top of my head.
I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about one while I say other while I
It's fine.
list off the ways they can help you. So the good ways you can help Teco are voice acting, Photoshop. Photoshop, you want to speak to someone called Karazor as well, because that is the lead artist. Development, particles. We'll speak to a guy called Ralph, who you've mentioned in your last video as well. And if you guys can do animations and stuff for Teco, I know he will appreciate that also. The details of other ways are in his descriptions. Make sure you check those out. And you've still thought of nothing to give them to speculate.
I got nothing.
I'm trying to think, what can I say to sort of give them to speculate that you won't murder me for? Okay, here's one, because from what I know, don't think you'll mind me saying this. The crisis that happens is not the kind of crisis you would expect.
Yeah, I guess that works.
Yeah, because whether it's the same from what you told me, I don't know, but anymore. But I do know that, like, I was expecting it to be extremely different. So the crisis isn't going to happen the way you guys would expect. That's all I'm going to say. And if I were to link this to comic books versus the world, he's going to come to me with a lot of questions like, how much do you know? Tell you what, if I link this to him, what are the odds of getting a message from him, do you think?
Very high.
Very high. So, yeah, thank you, Teco. I might get you back after the next update video you do.
Yep.
Because I think it'll be a nice little addition, just sort of do these, like, sort of things where you can talk about how things you may have wanted to include but never got the chance to include.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll talk again. I will go and hunt down your Twitter and create a poll for the likelihood of a sequel.
You gotta do that.
You don't have Twitter, do you?
I do in fact.
I think you linked it in one of your videos. I'll have to go and look. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Teco, for making an appearance. And as always, guys, I will see you soon, and peace.